The sedan driver was clearly distracted as they made no effort to stop whatsoever. Supposedly, they tried to pin it on the car ahead of them for the quote-unquote random stop, but dashcam footage put the sedan driver at total fault. The driver in the next lane was visibly upset for some reason. Due to his rage, he failed to notice what was ahead of him, resulting in a pile-up crash. I have to admit, the cherry on top was the Joker laugh post-crash.
I don't think I hit the second round, okay?
Did you see me comment on another one when I was in the bathroom?
I saw that. I'm only at, it stopped at 2,700, very sad. But all my things are getting big now, so this is good. 78,000.
Oh.
The truck driver blew past a red light, resulting in him getting T-boned by the car in the adjacent lane. Believe it or not, the truck driver said that his brakes failed. The driver in the adjacent lane admitted to being on their phone, which caused them to not pay attention to the red light. That distraction totaled both vehicles. Thankfully, no one was seriously injured. The SUV driver said that they were looking at their navigation and tried to make a last-second illegal entry, which caused them to ram into the barrier. While shaken up, the SUV driver was not seriously injured, miraculously. The camera proceeded through a cut-through to get a gordita crunch wrap from Taco Bell, but was nailed by the sedan. Insurance wrote this 80-20, 80% being the camera's fault and 20% the sedan driver's fault for not slowing down despite the stopped cars. Do you think this was a fair ruling? The SUV driver tried to say that the camera intentionally ran into her. Allegedly, after administering a breathalyzer, the SUV driver was taken into custody for supposed DUI-related charges. The turning driver blindly turned, resulting in the collision with the camera. The turning driver accepted liability, and the damages came out to over $4,000. The camera claims he tried to avoid hitting the turning driver after going through that very late yellow. Insurance still has not ruled on this. Who do you think will be found at fault? Let me know what you think down below. The Toyota driver failed to check their mirrors and blind spots, which caused the sideswipe crash with the camera. Always look prior to turning. The Cadillac driver blindly changed lanes, resulting in the crash. The camera didn't stop, but he did forward the footage to the local police to assist them with handling the case. The driver to the left of the camera failed to stop at the stop sign and plowed into the camera, causing over $5,400 in damages. The turning driver was very apologetic. The Hyundai driver tried to cut off the camera but hit him instead. Instead of stopping, they also earned themselves hit and run charges. Thanks to the dashcam footage, a few days later the Hyundai driver was caught and paid the price. This is some crazy footage of a hurricane that we got. The camera did the right thing by not driving, leaving his vehicle and seeking shelter in a building nearby and let his car be. Your life is always more important than monetary things such as cars. The camera wanted us to use this footage to show why one should never be distracted behind the wheel. He admits he was on his phone, which resulted in the collision, and claims he learned a big lesson from this and hopes you do too. While the SUV driver didn't completely stop, he did slow down and do a rolling stop, whereas the sedan driver failed to stop totally. According to the officer, he said this would most likely be 70-30, 70% being the sedan driver's fault and 30% being the SUV driver's fault. The Honda driver merged in too closely and wasn't expecting such a sudden stop, which resulted in the rear-end collision. Always make sure there's sufficient room prior to changing lanes. The Challenger driver tried to overtake the camera because he did not want her to merge ahead of him, but did so illegally. Thanks to dashcam footage, the Challenger driver was at fault. The camera was at fault for running a red light, causing not one, but two vehicles to hit his trailer. He admits he was wrong and advises all of us to be more cautious when it comes to red lights.